The best stories, the ones worth retelling, all have conflict and struggle. All of them. I've always been wondering how to get around that factor. My intention has always been to tell a story worth telling. And I've always known that movies, books, TV shows, any story that gets passed around with a beginning, middle, and end, it exists with conflict. And I am now understanding that this story is no different. When we whittle it down to just the fat loss journey and the ultimate aesthetic physique pursuit, the conflict within that story is the struggle to achieve it. And perhaps with the specific desires, impulses, qualities within myself, therein lies the struggle. It could be that a different person has no problem staying on a calorie restriction, eating within a deficit, not eating the food that they might want to eat, or eating in smaller portions of the foods. They could just not have a problem. And I'm sure that those individuals exist. One successful Mr. Olympia champ, Jay Cutler, I saw a video of him talking about how he just eats for nutrition, he eats for fuel, and that he has never had Kentucky Fried Chicken at the time that he was talking about this. And he wouldn't want to have Kentucky Fried Chicken because it would create the opportunity for him to enjoy it. And then if he were to enjoy it, then he'd be missing out on it because it does not help his goal. It does not benefit him to enjoy Kentucky Fried Chicken. So now he'd just be depriving himself of something that he really enjoys. I've had all the stuff that I enjoy. I know all the stuff. And there is the whole experience of depriving myself of those pleasures in my mouth in order to achieve the things that I want to achieve. Who would have thought that that would create such a struggle, such a conflict within me? But that is what I am facing. So let's get down to the brass tacks of it. It's been a couple of days since I last updated. 2 days ago, was it? Today's Saturday. 2 days ago, I did a photo shoot that went really well. I still have not had the chance to get my body fat percentage due to a extremely late night catching up on my day job, working till about 3:30 in the morning, and I had to reschedule my DEXA scan to get my body fat percentage to this upcoming Wednesday because I just was not going to get up for the 8:30 a.m. appointment the following day after that 3:30 a.m. all-nighter. But I still think I'm in the 8% range. And the results of the photo shoot were pretty cool, all things considered. I acknowledge that myself at 8% looks pretty good. And it's just the whole understanding that I haven't seen what 5% looks like. And I'm an extremist. I seek perfection. And, this is all one big experiment. looking back on something I had said earlier about not being sure if it was hard or if I just wanted it to be hard, this whole process. And I now understand and acknowledge that it's both. It is hard, and I want it to be hard. Why do I want it to be hard? Because I want to change myself in the process of the pursuit of achieving quote unquote perfection. I know that as I am today, I am not the finished version of myself, mentally, physically, and spiritually. I know that there is more that I can wring out so far as my potential is concerned. And that's what this whole process is about. It's actualizing my potential, your potential, and seeing it reflected within your body, within how you move through the world, and how you feel about yourself. Knowing that you are living up to what you're capable of, enacting the amount of discipline that's required, and the mindset. That's the journey that I'm interested in. It's the one that I'm interested in telling and experiencing. So the photo shoot went well. One thing that I noticed quite immediately after seeing the stills, which I'll definitely be posting online and using for promotional material of my health and wellness consulting service, is the disparity of the leg area. The legs do not, they leave much to be desired, which is something I've known, and it is quite a shame that I didn't spend time when I first got introduced to bodybuilding, working out, weight training. 10 years of my life just ignored my legs, and now I am suffering for it because out of nowhere I learned about calorie restriction and nutrition and what it kind of impact it actually has on your body. And then I started thinking, listen, you can actually look quite amazing if you do all the things necessary. Had I known that when I was in my teens, I would have definitely had bigger aspirations much sooner. But now these aspirations are here, and based off the photos, which again, they look great for 8% body fat, but based off of those images, I am 3 to 4 years away from having my legs catch up and become proportional with the rest of my body. 3 to 4 years before I have something magnificent. 3 to 4 years of hard work. Now every time I go into the gym to do legs, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking, how can I destroy this leg workout so I can leave and have these muscles continue to grow, because I need rapid growth. I've also been thinking that acknowledging that we're 3 to 4 years away from the peak presentation, it almost put me in a state of like, all right, well, what's the point in dropping down to 5% if we understand that the legs need to be worked on and muscle mass needs to occur in that area of my body? I'm not able to simultaneously get bigger legs while focusing on getting to 5% body fat. That's just not something that's conducive. Like the two goals contradict each other. And I've been thinking about that a lot. And I've been speaking to people about it. My roommate And the bottom line is that this whole goal of getting to 5% has been a year-long pursuit. And it's not something that can be abandoned lightly in the pursuit of the larger ultimate goal. I think it would be a shame to myself to leave this task unchecked. And so I feel a stronger commitment and a stronger level of focus to getting this specific goal done so I can move on to the ultimate physique building. As strange as it sounds, going in one direction just to go in the completely opposite direction. But that's where we are. And in order to do this, I'm realizing, at least for me, I was listening to this podcast, these two doctors, Dr. Lane Norton and Dr. Peter Attia. Peter Attia's podcast is called The Drive. And they were talking about fat loss. And Dr. Lane Norton, he competes in bodybuilding, natural bodybuilding competitions. And he talks about that last 4 weeks of cutting the body fat and getting down to 5%, if not lower. And he made this analogy where he basically said that, getting down to 8% is pretty easy relative to getting to 5%. Because the way that he described it is like you're using toothpaste, a tube of toothpaste. And when the toothpaste is full, it's really easy to squeeze out the toothpaste onto your toothbrush. But when you get to the dregs, that last bit of toothpaste that's still in the tube, the amount of effort that's required to get the toothpaste out of that tube is much higher than when there was plenty of toothpaste in there. And the same can really be applied to fat, where if you have 20% body fat, 15% body fat, getting down to 8% is pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. All you're doing is keeping the deficit, let's say 500 calories less than you burn, and slowly, systematically, you are losing body fat as a result of staying within that deficit. And you don't really suffer as much as you would when you get from 8% to 5%. The reason why is because you have more energy. Your body has more fat stores to pull from. So you're not walking around dragging your knuckles to the ground because you are still burning available fat. But when you get down to like these low digit numbers, there is just less energy available in your body to pull from. So not only are you maintaining a deficit, but also your body just, it's looking for energy and it doesn't have many places to look. Anyway, I say all that to say that hearing his experience about it and how he described that it is difficult and that the last 4 weeks of getting down to that 5% is hard, and how low energy he felt during that time, it kind of made me feel a lot calmer about the process. Where this whole time, like I've said, I've asked myself, is this supposed to be hard? Do I want it to be hard? Or is it just fucking hard? And hearing his experience of it and just putting in perspective, yeah, no, it's definitely hard. What I want to do is difficult. Kind of made me feel better. Because now I get to approach this with the knowledge, I'm going to suffer. And it's not a mental suffering. It's literally my body will be suffering. And I get to prepare for that mentally, which is a good thing. So how am I going about this? Well, my plan is to take a copious amount of notes, document this whole process. Like I said, I have my DEXA scan rescheduled to this upcoming Wednesday, which is in a couple of days. I will be finding out what my body fat percentage is currently. From there, my intention is to do some calculations and figure out how many pounds of fat I need to lose in order to get to 5%. What I would like to do is, based off of that information, calculate how many weeks would be required to get to 5%. And then just stick to the caloric deficit based off of that information. So if I have, let's say I have 10 pounds of fat to lose in order to get to 5%. You can lose 2 pounds of fat a week. You can. That's definitely scientifically a thing that you can do in a healthy way. So, 10 pounds of fat to lose, 2 pounds of fat per week, 5 weeks. That means I would be saying within 5 weeks, I will be at 5%. That 5 weeks would consist of 0 cheat meals, 0 calorie surpluses, 0 deviations from the specific dietary / caloric restriction. Just 5 weeks. If it comes out to be 10 pounds of fat that I need to lose. And I don't know, I think saying it out loud and just understanding that we've been putting this off way too long, trying to come up with loopholes and shortcuts and hacks and different ways to get to this goal that I have not succeeded in. Just saying it out loud, it's going to be hard. And it's going to require consistency every single day, as opposed to consistency 5 days, and then on the 6th day I have 8 donuts, and then on the 7th day then I go back to it. That's not going to work. Now, one thing I am going to say is my intention is to simplify the whole process and focus on specifically the deficit and nothing else, which means I am capping my calorie limit each day to 1,700 calories. That 1,700 calories can come from anywhere. I am not as focused on macronutrients as I have in the past, because at this point, my singular aim is just to get there. So if a day comes, and this would be a stupid call, but I know it's something that I'm capable of making. If there comes a day where I want pizza and, it's like I don't have I just want pizza in my body, then I'm going to eat those slices of pizza and put that into my caloric budget. So there is no more overeating. There is no more calorie surplus. Granted, on most days, I will be thinking what's the biggest bang for my buck that I can get out of the food that I'm eating. I will be intentionally eating whole foods, single ingredient items, such as like chicken breast, spinach, potatoes, brown rice, the whole 9 yards when it comes to the simple stuff that have the biggest amount of volume, so I can get as much nutrient dense foods out of the limited amount of calories that I'm able to eat and still lose fat. However, the day might come where I want a fucking donut, and that will get factored into my caloric budget. That's the only way I see how this will work. There can't be cheat meals where I have 3,000 calories. It's not going to work. It's just going to delay the process, and I want this done. I need this to be over so I can move on and start building muscles in my legs. My rule moving forward is that for every calorie over 1700, I will be doing 5 burpees each day. So that means for today, for example, and again, I'm taking copious amounts of notes moving forward. Today, for example, I had a protein shake with an AG1 greens mixed drink. So greens and protein shake. Then I had an avocado. Then I had a kiwi. Then I had 3 ounces of salmon. Then I had 4 ounces of chicken. And what says like 13 ounces of brown rice. Even though I'm not sure. It was from Wawa Grill. But the calorie count came out to 760 calories. Anyway, all of that totaled to make 1,706 calories. 1,705 calories. So I will be doing 25 burpees before I go to bed tonight. And that's what I'll be doing moving forward. I need to come in below 1,700 calories each day until I hit my 5%. It's as simple as that. Carbs are going to be my best friend. I will get the most amount of energy from my carbs. A friend of mine says that red meat is a great source of energy. I will put that to the test. However, my understanding is that carbs are the quickest source of energy. So I'll be eating carbs before and preferably after my workouts in order to maintain a high level of energy throughout the day. Additional strategies will be discussed as we move through this process. It's just time to get disciplined. Got a cryo tank scheduled appointment tomorrow where I'll be spending 3 minutes in a cryo freezer thing. And that's how I'm going to start my day tomorrow. And then it's just a matter of, I'm a vice guy, I'm always looking to indulge. And I guess food was one specific indulgence that I enjoyed and appreciated. And that's now off the table. It's not that I can't have tasty food anymore, but it's more so the excess. The excess has to end. And so I can already feel myself looking for other ways to indulge, such as my other vices like sex or weed or even porn. And I'm going to be monitoring those vices moving forward to make sure that I don't go off the deep end in something else. Because if there's one thing I know about myself, it's I enjoy all things that I like in excess. And moderation is healthy. So that's where we are. When it comes to the service that I'll be providing and setting up the promotional material, I think what has slowed me down is the lack of vision for how to systematically assist people. The thing is that I'm aware that I have the knowledge and I have the ability to assist individuals in achieving their specific fitness goals. However, I want a clean presentation, and I don't know. I think it's all going to get ironed out over time. It's all going to become crystal clear as I continue to make steps towards my goal. Everything else will become lined up. Cool. Weigh the shred. 5% coming soon. I've been saying that for fucking 8 years now. No. But I've been saying it too long. Let's get it done.